done within about 1 hour because of these videos, of course, less than that, probably so. And I try to get down to the nitty gritty. And if anyone who has any comments or questions, you can join. And of course, it's just topics. We have many different topics. And of course, I'm the host, Mandel Evans, of course, Emerald Pillar King. Okay. I'm a gamer, of course. And my brothers are here. One of my brothers is missing, so he may pop up very shortly. I don't know. And my brother Frankie, which is called Minky or Milky, right? No. Mikey. He forgot. It's to say Mikey. That's the E. You're missing the E. And then Donatello. And then Donatello is Maurice. Okay, a changed one life. Okay, and you look up those names on the internet, you'll pretty much find that. I don't know how you're gonna find it, but I'll put it down in the description box once they give it to me. But let's begin with the topics today, you guys. And of course, let's see. Okay, the first thing we have two questions for each. I mean, 2 topics for each individual. Okay, this is all unscripted, by the way. Okay, and of course, my topics is what is the order of importance? Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, green lives matter, and I'll explain what green lives and blue lives matter and red lives matter as well. And also your importance, your definition of love. Okay, your definition of love. Frankie, his 2 topics is what is your opinion about being an optimum mate, and to your partner or spouse. What is the best thing that you have witnessed about the female parenting? Okay, and Tyson will also talk about 2 topics, which will be why when a man take care of their body, it's considered not masculine, and how do you think music affects you? And so, let's begin with who we gonna start with?
I think you should start it off today.
Okay, I'll start it off today. So let's start off with my questions is, okay, what do you think? Okay, which lives are more important? Because I'm getting tired of seeing all of this nonsense on the internet about what lives matter, what's more important. And then people get offended by you saying all lives. And then when I get offended when people say all lives, okay, I'm like, yo, what happened to blue lives? Okay, what happened to the green lives first? Okay, I thought those things are supposed to be. Tell me what your perspective is and how these orders should be, because some people get offended if you say all lives over black lives. What do you think about this topic? Tell me what your Frankie. You go first. Mikey, you go first. Go ahead.
I believe that a lot of this came out of the green lives and blue lives. Now we know that blue lives matter. We know that green lives matter. But I think it was just something to deflect from Black Lives Matter. Even though Black Lives Matter also got their own agenda. But overall, when you go to statement all Black Lives Matter, it was supposed to put focus on the injustices of black males and black people, because there's black women who also been murdered by police. So it was supposed to put some light on the injustices that have been happening. Now people use the same term to take attention off of what's really going on, the injustices that happen. Now, nobody doesn't say the blue lives matter, because blue lives does matter, right? We all believe that we want police officers to be safe. We want people who serve our country and protect the country to be safe also. But people who has a hidden agenda, and it may be some type of racism tied to it also.
A political plot. Yeah.
Right. I don't tell when people wave a blue lives matter flag or red lives matter flag or green lives matter flag. I think those people more likely, the people initially who did it was doing it to take attention off of Black Lives Matter. But the people who's waving these flags, the blue lives matter, green lives matter, the red lives matter, which is the fire department, those people probably got family members that's in these serving these particular what would you call it?
Entities,
right? Particular entities, and they want to support their family members. So I don't take offense to blue lives matter, red, because they just brought into the system. But people who started it, it was something against saying that, oh, if Black Lives Matter, the police officers is on the street. The blue lives matter more than the Black Lives Matter. But initially, is something that started to take attention off of Black Lives Matter, which people were looking at the people who've been murdered as people who are not the victims. The police officers are the victims. You hear people do it all the time. You're like, wait a minute, you are called to serve and protect, right? So we don't have to say Blue Lives Matter. We know that Blue Lives Matter. We're saying Black Lives Matter because there's an injustice that happened. So I think most people are just a victim of people who's playing like a what do you call it, political game, or
yeah,
definitely.
the masses basically.
Definitely.
So what do you think about this, Maurice?
I'm not gonna say this statement verbatim. It's a great statement a guy said on one of the social medias, I forgot it. He said that I think which kind of ties into this, that the Black Lives Matters movement is because Black people don't know it's not really a movement. They said you can't be really proud of a color. Like you can't say, hey, white lives matter, but your nationality matters. Like Irish matters, or even like the country that you come from. That country matters, you know, because that's what they're proud where they came from. When it comes to Black people, we don't know where initially came from. So I think it ties into the Black Lives Matter movement because our background is what's taken away from us. We have nothing to say. If I was from this country, I'm proud of this country. I'm proud to be this heritage. I'm proud to be this person. We have no idea who we are. So the Black Lives Matter movement, I think, plays a key role in that because we have nothing to say, hey, we're proud of this. So we're trying to find ourselves at the same time. But do all lives matter? Definitely. Everyone has no all lives matters. I think it's just where we're at in life, tying on to what Frankie's saying, is that the whole movement was about the murder of Black people being killed out in the street. And a lot of people have different ways of fighting that or combating that to take the attention off of what the attention needs to be on to help serve the purpose or serve the cause.
But I believe Black Lives Matter is more than just because you got people from all over the world. Like you got people from Jamaica, you got people from the islands that do have some type of let's say motherland, so to speak. If it's not Africa, they do got Jamaica, they got Trinidad, and they relate to that as a motherland. They have some type of connection where they can unify. Now, if you're talking about the American Black person, right?
That's what I'm speaking about. American Black people,
right? You consider about them is that we really don't have nothing that unify us because we don't look at a lot of people, which is wrong. We don't look at the American flag as unifying us, but I believe we should because this is basically, if we go back 30, 40 years, this is where our ancestors are from also. You understand, so to speak. But I think Black Lives Matter is everyone who's Black, who's been infected, no matter where you're from. You could be from London, right? You come to America, you're gonna feel some type of oppression, right? Or some type of, because it's different all over the world. But America is so much, it's been so much racism embedded. You're gonna feel it no matter where you're from. You be from a country where color don't matter, right? You come here, you're like, oh my goodness, this is a whole different world, right? Look at people and how they interact. You understand what I'm saying? In other countries, right? They don't even look at color. They're like, oh my, they don't even look at color. They're like, okay, a person is a person. But if you come to America, is a big impact. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying it doesn't happen in other countries, but it is ingrained into our history, which still affects us to today.
My problem with this Black Lives thing is like, word for real. We all lived in the hood, man. And then the thing is that they don't advertise anything about Black on Black crime. That's my biggest issue. I'm like, when children and parents and people die in the Black neighborhoods, nobody want to make it evident on the news or the media about the incidents that happen almost every day. And then you got an infamous individual or Nipsey Hussle types who basically get killed, and they're criminals. And people don't understand the psychology upon karma in which they were criminals in the first place, because they probably had done more crimes than just one crime. They would They were doing multitudes of crime. And then the advertising on TV. So like you said, Frankie, earlier, it's a political plot, okay, to bring out the darkness of the Black community. I don't understand why they want to focus on the infamous individuals rather than the innocent children getting killed in the hood, okay, and gunshots are shot. Why so much focus on an infamous person rather than the real life shit that's actually going on in the hood? How? Why is this information?
Why is it big? Because one is individuals choosing to commit violence against one another. The other one is an entity that we put in place as a society to uphold the law and uphold justice and to show grace and mercy towards the people in the population. But they choosing to be biased when not all. Some is choosing to be biased or take a unbiased approach to certain individuals, which we see. So it's not something it's just something that happened overnight or one incident. No, this has been happening for years and years.
Basically. Maybe the reason why it's happening because of white media. The Jewish empires control the media. So I think about it like that. I'm like, wait a minute. The Jewish people don't go into the hood and try to advertise in media's eyes. They put it on the local news, but they won't advertise it like Columbine. Now, once you hear something like Columbine happen, I'm like, yo, this only happens like sporadically once or twice, but way more than niggas kill each other in the hood than a Columbine.
But Columbine is a whole different issue. Columbine is a situation where a person was mentally challenged or had some type of rage and just decided to take it out on the mass of people. But the black on black crime is due to poverty, people who's uneducated also. So anybody, no matter what ethnicity you got, anytime you have poverty and when you have people who are not provided for, you're going to have this conflict. Guaranteed.
Yeah, but if you try to compare the Sandy Hook and the Columbine, think about it like this. Niggas in the hood kill way more than that. They killing more masses than that. So if you hear a cracker that's shooting some kid and some kids going crazy in incels, that's nothing compared to the hood. That's nothing compared to Compton. So you got one black person who's a gangster, who's a blood or a crip, okay, and they're going around killing. They ain't getting no news. That's weird, right? What do you think about that? Isn't that weird? I'm like, how you got the Bloods and the Crips? They formed alliances in the hood. Think how criminally insane that is. But they're not getting any attention. This is amazing.
It's a lot of groups like that don't get attention. It's not just the blood. It's not just the Bloods and the Crips. We go back to the mafia. It's a lot of things that don't get the news like that. But I think we're going a little bit off subject. So I think we got to come back because that could be a bigger chapter.
It's still relating. It's still relating to the subject of Black Lives Matter. But even in the hood, there has been videos made about the thugs in the hood, and they get upset because they live in the hood and they're stuck in a rock between a hard place. But statistics still show that white people are getting killed more by cops. And for some reason, this stigma painting all blue lives as mostly criminals is a terrible lie that will only fall on the head of black people. Did you know that? So let's say you got a handful of bad apples in the cops and the Blue Lives Matter. You know what the Black Lives Matter does, that influence does? It creates energy in the black community. And what happens is that since we know that there's more good cops than bad cops, it's a political standoff when it comes to the media. And then I'm like, yo, blacks don't see this. I said, they setting you up. Just stay your ass in the hood and don't go over there. I asked my mom, I told mom, I said, why are you joining a Black Lives movement? That's what they want, to get you in jail. That's what they're trying to bring. White people started, and white people want to end it, okay? Because they're a step above the rest, and they psychologically. So when you got a bunch of blacks in the hood not understand the psychology, that's only putting blacks in danger for rooting for Black Lives Matter. And they don't have any power over the media. But what do you think about that? That's dangerous for blacks. What do you think?
I think we should move to the next subject. So,
So anyway,
yeah.
to me, the importance of the all lives matter and all that. I think the importance. Okay, let's go back to the subject here. The importance is blue lives. I think it's more important than all lives, because if you don't have no blue lives, the all lives will kill each other. Okay, we need authority figures, and all lives are more important than every other color. Now, black lives are the least important because nobody really talks about the Indian lives. You know, the Native Americans.
Yeah.
Do you know about the ambulance that get killed, the police that get killed? Nobody's giving no advertisement to none of those lives. Why is that, Maurice? Why is that?
Well, I think it's two different subjects. And I think that's why I said it's, like I said before, it's a bigger, that's going to make it's a bigger plane. We're not talking about just Black Lives Matter. We're talking about media. We're talking about who controls.
Yeah, but that's
the
what
media.
my question's about. My question is generalizing which is more important than the other.
Well,
So
I think all, like I said in the beginning, I think to me all lives definitely matter. You know, point blank period. And like I said in the statement before, the Black Lives Matter movement is to put the eye on a subject or a situation, and that's what the Black Lives Matter movement. But people in general matters. It's not. I don't want to put a tag on it. There's no tag on it. Everyone lives matter. I don't care what race, nationality you are.
Yeah, every person has a tag on it. You have to have the blue lives, right?
I don't put tag on it. People are people.
And what about the cops? Aren't they a little bit more important than regular people? I'm pretty sure that regular people and cops are two different individuals, right?
I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. If a cop had a son or a daughter, right, and they know their life's in danger and they have to risk their life to save that son or daughter, I'm pretty sure the cop will risk his life because they feel like that son or daughter life matters more than his. Okay. That's why people are people, and all lives matter.
Okay, I understand. But when I look at it, I'm like, a cop has more experience. They're trained in the
Understandable,
force.
yep.
And so the military's Green Lives is basically also trained. So if I know for a fact that this military guy is going to save our country, he probably might want to save my life. Like, you remember that clip inside of the Marvel? Infinity Wars. Remember that clip in Infinity Wars? Yes. Where Hawkeye and what's her name? The Widow. The Widow wanted to kill herself. She wanted to jump off, but Hawkeye didn't want her to kill herself. They both are equivalent superheroes. If I wanted to kill myself, this U.S. citizen might try to save my life. And so I don't want my life to be saved if he's trying to save more. He's the greater good. I want to sacrifice my life for that U.S. military service for God, because he's going to do more service than me. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
But if you're a father or your mother, I can understand what you're saying. If you're just ordinary, But let's get on with the next subject, man. I hope Thomas pops up in here, okay, because he would have something disagreeable. Is he's Raphael, okay? PTYM Nation, okay. But anyway, let's go with the next subject. My subject is, what is your definition of love? What do you consider what love is? Frankie. Mikey.
My definition of love?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe love is stages of love. And it takes time and you have to build it. You have to build love. You can love a person on a shallow stage, like you have something you care about the person on a certain level. But there's extreme love also, where you love a person to the point where you die for them or you sacrifice a lot for them. But that goes through, it's built up to a journey to relationships and time. But love is any type of like grace or mercy or anything that's out of the normal. Like, it's like if somebody do something to offend you, right? A person you love, you're gonna go, you know what? You're gonna talk to them and say you hurt me, and the person loves you back. If it's love, they're probably gonna apologize to you and say, "Oh, I didn't mean to do it." But if a person really don't love you, if they offend you or they say something you don't like, usually you just walk away, or you'll try to be done with that relationship. You don't love that person. Maybe you're just friends with that person. Well, maybe you're associates with that person, because usually if it's a friend, you love a friend, basically. So love is some type of relationship.
I want to mention one thing though. It's good to have a piece of paper and a notepad, like I do, because you can write things down and branch off to some things, or maybe write questions for our next meeting or schedule on Sunday. Okay, just in case, But go ahead, continue. Sorry. Go ahead, Frankie.
That's all I have.
What about you, Maurice?
I agree with Frankie. I think it's just different steps to love. I think as people, we have to learn to love more, because I think that's the key to everything. If we be loved and united, but also that we got to be careful, careful with love, because we know some people don't have the best your best interest in love, but sometimes we gotta look past these things. Sometimes we gotta look past those things, and I think that's what we have to do, is kind of build love more for each other. I think that's the key to our society. But I also agree with Frankie that there are stages and steps of love, and obviously, once you get to those steps, that loves get greater.
All right, I got something to say. Oh, because a lot of times people don't understand that there's ascending love, and then there's descending love. Like I always take an example of children, right? You got parents. Parents is the love that descends. Like, we have some type of understanding of what love is and what it takes to love a person, right? So we're always giving our children. Our children don't understand how much we love them, right? And then the children try to understand, right? And usually when you become an adult, you say, wow, my parents love me on that level. As if they have children, they say, wow. Then they love become the descending love, right? It's going down to their children. So then they say, wow, my parents love me like this. Then they have understanding, like, oh my goodness. So then they say, wow, I should have heeded. I wish I would have understood more back then, because I would have listened more, or I would have did something better. But there's even with friendship, there could be someone who's taking that extra step up, but to bring that person up to that level, because you only would know love if you're being loved. You understand what I'm saying? If you never understand that love that's coming down to you, how are you going to go up to that level?
Yeah.
How you going to go up to that level? So that's why it's so important that we love, like you said, we love properly. So even if a person don't know how to love, maybe the love that you show them will build them and strengthen them, so they will learn how to love. Or know what it looks like, at least.
Yep. While I was growing up, I learned that love is tough. Okay. And then I realized that there's many different types of love. There's people who do wicked type of love, and they'll consider it like a fetish type of love. But of course, I look at love like a business. And you know what, I learned something here. The more someone apologizes, the more when they do wrong and they have a tendency of forgetting, okay, the more they don't love you. I don't think a person who constantly always is apologizing. I'm sorry for what I did. They keep saying it, but keep doing the same thing over and over again. Usually I don't feel that person really loves you if they don't even apologize in the first place. But if a person keeps apologizing all of the time, then you obviously know that that person has a problem, because someone did not explain their type of love from the beginning. And all types of love should be explained very crystal clear from the jump, okay? Now, I believe that if everyone just went along with putting everything on the table before they get involved, we wouldn't have no love problems. It would just be a simple trade, okay? Like me, I like one thing to one thing, but if you cut me, I have to cut you twice, okay? If you give me one good gift, I gotta give you two good gifts. You see, I don't do eye for an eye with my type of love. I usually try to. What do you think? Go ahead.
But I don't think that's love, because love is organic, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty about love. It's like, you see, like I always say, that you see a mother, right? Sometimes you see mothers being abused by their child, not physically, but in other stands. Like you see a child, maybe he's a gangster and he's doing wicked things in the street.
But Frankie, you're missing one thing I just said. I said I explained things from the beginning. It's like when I talk to my daughter, as my daughter's growing up, I said that if you do me wrong, I have to do 2 times wrong to you, because you have to learn quicker by tough love. As I was growing up, I learned that people are most of the time selfish. They are not capable of showing the type of love you're talking about. That love is an illusion, especially with women in particular, okay? They're not trained to know what love is or know how to express it. So when you explain to someone, you can learn by me giving you tough love faster before it happens, then you can understand what I'm going with this, okay? So natural, organic love doesn't exist in most people. So I know what you're talking about, but organic love don't exist to me, okay? Because when you do good things to people, they're supposed to reciprocate that back to you. You understand what I'm saying?
But what you're talking about is not love. You're talking about some type of
no. There's many types of love. That is a type of love. Your type of love may be softer than my type.
You gonna let him answer the question?
Well, okay. He said it's not love to him, but okay, you understand a different type of love. Okay?
Listen, but that's a part of love. Okay, you talking about discipline and governing yourself accordingly. That's different. But love is something that's organic. Is when
you is more good. So you have to say that to you. To me,
the beauty about love is 2 different entities, right? That chooses to come together, which is never going to match up completely. How many times people get in relationships? You have one idea what you believe you want your relationship to be. The other person have another idea what their relationship to be. The beauty about love is that both are not going to think the same.
So that's why you have compromise, right? That's why you get compromise, right? It's called compromise, right?
That's why you compromise and you adjust. And when you choose to adjust to fit into one another, they come to some type of agreement. That's what love is, and that's what sacrifice is. That's what sacrifice is.
I include those things in my type of love. I include all of those things. Okay.
If you're setting the rules based on what you believe.
No, it's not just what I believe. No, I did not say that. I am not a narcissist, okay? I do not believe in just myself. Like I told my wife, I said, hey, if you want to be flexible, we can go there, but don't cross this line over here where I'm at. I said, I'm real flexible. To be flexible in love is good, but I'm just saying that, there's people out there, you don't have your true intention, like what Maurice said. They don't have your intention. So you got to have boundaries to your safe space. I can be flexible as hell. I'm flexible. But continue on. Go ahead. What you were saying?
I understand boundaries. Boundaries, yes, when it comes to some instance. Okay. Anytime you put boundaries and law in place, I'm not talking about because that's very complicated. Because you got boundaries in the sense of like a woman could say, "Yeah, I'm not going to take you cheating on me," and she say, "You know what? That's one thing I'm not compromising with. I'm not going to take you cheating on me. I'm not compromising with it, right?" And that's a boundary that we all agree with. But if a man comes in and say, "Yo, I expect you to cook every night," that's not a boundary. And she don't cook every night, and you get upset because she don't cook every night. That's something minor compared to you cheating, right?
Yeah. But let me say something about this, though. Let me say one thing about this. You have to know each other before you even begin to lay down any foundation. Without no foundation about who's supposed to be doing what, you're wasting your time. You got to have a foundation on what your job is, my job is, and even the middle ground. I said, if you can't do your job, this is what I'm going to do. This is what we're going to agree.
But what are you referring to? Minor things like who's going to pay the bills, who's going to mow the lawn? Are you talking about that's minor things when it comes to a relationship?
Okay, now let me put it this way. If my wife would cheat on me, I usually tell them to kill that bitch, okay?
Why are you so aggressive?
But the thing is that, listen, this is how you guys had to stop being nice. Because sometimes I dream to be Jack the Ripper and Ted Bundy, but Jesus. I don't have the heart for that. So you got to do something in replace of the Jack the Ripper, okay? So if your wife cheats on you, I know, guarantee well, y'all guys will forgive your wives. Okay. So other than that, you're gonna have to have another thing you have to do, in which I use start psychology and magic. Okay. You guys, I don't know what type of things you would do if your wife cheated on you. What would you do? You just get a divorce? Huh?
All right, so I think we're gonna agree to disagree, but I'm gonna say this before we move to the next subject. I just want to say this: is that if your wife cheat on you,
yeah,
and you do get a divorce, guess what?
Yeah,
you still got love for her.
Yeah, see, that's for guys.
That's it. That's it. Love is grown. It's hard to break. Like Frankie says, it's organic. You fell in love with your wife. That's why you married your wife. No matter what she did or what she ever does in your relationship, you might like it. You might not agree with it. Guess what? You're still gonna have love for her. It might not be as strong as it was, but you're still gonna have love for her.
Exactly. I know some guys who got stabbed in the back. I know some guys who got stabbed in the back physically, literally, and they still love that woman. Okay. But you do that to a woman, you'll see what happens to you. Okay. So the love is not as strong on one side than the other. So I tell guys all the time, stop being so nice. Okay. Don't be too nice. All right. Let's go to the next subject.
I disagree with you because there's a lot of women who's been cheating on and still cheating on and stay with it and stay with the significant other.
But let me put it like
oh my goodness.
It's like this girls who do that because it's not just their personality is the dick. Okay? I just believe it's just the physical, sexual side. Men don't usually have great personalities when it comes to women. Okay, you know, if the sex is good, you can beat the shit out of that bitch. Okay.
Why is you so aggressive? Oh, Jesus.
From my experience, this is what I learned. If you're good in bed, trust me, it's not a sexual thing. It's a lust thing. Okay, it's not a sex. Trust me, you test this out yourself. So why do these guys tell me I beat my bitch's ass every night? I see, because you fucking her every night. You fucking, what are you doing, okay? And so I'm just trying to tell you guys, with women, when it's lust, she'll stick with you. Like that's like Charles Manson, okay? Okay, you got Charles Manson type of love, okay? But that's most likely rare. I think that there's more guys who get killed than women anyway, and the other way around. And women can deal with a lot of abuse if sexually satisfied. Okay, but let's go on to the next subject. Okay, Frankie, you said, what is your opinion about being an optimum mate to your?
Go to Maurice, because I want go to Maurice.
Oh, go ahead, Maurice.
Huh?
You want to go to Maurice's next?
Yes.
All right. Okay. I think you said why when men take care of their body is considered not masculine. Okay, and then we'll go to the next one.
All right. So when I say when men take care of their body, it's not necessarily exercise I'm speaking about. It's not necessarily eating right. What I'm speaking about when men get their nails done, they get manicures or pedicures. When some men, this is not I, put makeup on just to look better, not as makeup as a, how do you want to say, a feminine way, meaning one like a woman, but a man to look better. Because a lot of people don't know, a lot of rappers wear makeup, a lot of actors wear makeup just to cover up their flaws on their face, just to look better. So, question to you guys, Mandel can go first. Why is it considered?
Frankie, you want to go first?
Oh, I don't care. I can tell you why.
Yeah, you go ahead first, Frankie. I like to go. I save the best for last. You go, Frankie.
Oh, so I'm going last then, huh?
No, I'm going last.
You said the best for last. You said the best for last.
I'm the best for last. Women save me from the best for last till it's too late. Okay.
Well, you talking about rappers in the sense of they going on camera, right?
Yeah, so they use the camera, but men in general. So let's say, like, if you're going to the office, you want to make sure that you present yourself well. You got your nails is clean, your nails is cut. You maybe, you wear clear nail polish. You know what I'm saying? You take care of your face. You wear the right cosmetics on your face, meaning that you clean your face with, let's say you do a Chlorosol to get the pimples out of your face, things like that.
Well, cleanliness is one thing. I don't personally look at it as masculine if a man cleans his nails and washes his face. But when you're talking about makeup, when you're doing something, you're doing like cosmetic front, like a veneer or something like that, to like every day put on makeup. Because I think that men in generally is not looked at. Women are more looked at for beauty and for their appearance directly. I'm not saying men is not looked at for their appearance, but women are more like made up and to be desired in that light. But men are more desired in strength and confidence, in a sense, right? So it's one thing keeping yourself clean, but it's another thing if you're trying to present yourself in a light of something to be desired with the eyes. You understand what I'm saying? It's two different forms of attraction. Men attraction is a more sense of, I'm sure of myself, I'm confident, I believe in myself, and I'm going to get what I'm going to get. But woman is more like, okay, I'm something that should be looked at and admired because I'm like a jewel, basically. That's how they get their build up and their strengthen is like when someone look at them and say, hey, you got nice hair today, you got beautiful eyes. But if if a woman come up to you and say, you got beautiful eyes or you got beautiful skin, are you gonna be happy? You gonna be happy when a woman tell you that?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I was told this a few times. You see, you got some nice skin. I said, yo, I don't put nothing on my skin at all, baby. You ready for something?
Oh my God, bro.
Hey, I want to say something here. Let me see. Hold on. Michelle Adams, okay, says, get a new method of living, boy. I said, who the hell are you talking to? Are you a female or male? Why do you have the old food stamps in your picture and shit? You better get a life. You probably feeding off the SNAP program. You better get out of here, boy.
Hey, relax.
Yeah, you're gonna say, you better get a new life. You don't know what my life is about. You don't know nothing, man. Oh, Thomas says, hey, Thomas.
Yeah.
Mandel, can y'all hear me?
Raphael is taking back to the break.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. So we're gonna let you answer the questions last, okay? Hold on. Let's go on.
No problem.
Yeah, okay. So I want to answer. I want to go with your question, Maurice. If you hear a masculine, wherever you hear this news at, where someone's judging a male because of their masculinity or their femininity, you got to judge the person who's judging. If you get compliments are good from women, which is rare, because I get that sometimes when I walk out and say your skin is shining. If I know my female partner and shit, that's cool, okay. But when you doing your nails and stuff like that, all that panicure strip like that, all that cosmetics, clipping your nose and stuff like that, I don't see nothing really wrong with. I don't really hear too much about how that's feminine. I haven't seen that too much on the media, where women are down looking men for being healthy. Okay, I don't see it. But right. What do you mean? Huh?
Right, I agree with you. It's healthy.
Yes, it's healthy.
Oh, I didn't see it anyway. It's a generalized question. That's what I. That's
but he's not talking about men. He's talking about women. He's talking about the masses in general that looks down on men when they're. But only thing I see is the cosmetics, the makeup. Go ahead.
Like I said,
yeah,
I'm not understanding the question.
Thomas, what you got? Thomas, what you think about this? How do you? Go ahead, Maurice. Tell him.
So the question is basically, why do it look like it's not masculine when men basically get their nails done, get their feet done, and some guys wear makeup. If they wear makeup just to look better, to get their blemishes out of their face, why does it look as not as masculine?
Why they don't look as masculine? I know a lot of guys who get their nails and stuff done and still hold up and look. It's just that I think what my biggest thing about it is you got to make sure they will actually want to still look masculine. You ask me. That's what that part comes in at.
I agree with you.
I'm not gonna lie. Every now and then you don't think I go get my feet, my nails done. That shoot, I get a nice massage done on my legs and the whole nine.
That's more like self-care.
I think it's up to the male. I think it's up to the male if they want to look masculine or not.
But also you got a new term called. You ever heard the term metrosexual?
No, what the heck is that?
What is that? What is that? What is that?
Metrosexual is a male who take like really good care of himself. Like he'll go overboard. Like he'll get his eyebrows done. He'll consistency. Basically, he'll stay extra clean, but more on a more feminine side. He's masculine, but he's trying to be so clean. You would think it's more on the feminine side. You understand what I'm saying?
What you're trying to tell me is that because a person really want to take good care of himself, it's automatically labeled as being.
No. But you're talking about two different things. Like
automatically.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Is the cops following you, Thomas? Are you driving from the cops? Why is there red, white, and blue?
It's my phone. I'm driving. I
see red, white, and blue all over your face.
No, but it's this metrosexual. Hello?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Frankie.
But this metrosexual term is not getting your nails and your feet done, because a lot of males do get that. This is like overboard. It's like a little bit overboard. This is like it's so close to femininity, right? Like women are like, it's so close to like putting makeup on. You understand? They call it metrosexual.
Okay, so is a metrosexual someone who is like myself with OCD? I like to make sure everything's clean before we do certain things. I like to see if everything is okay in the right position. Is that metro? Okay.
No, it's self-care. Like it's like self-care. Like a metrosexual is a person who will go get their back wax. You understand? It will be overboard. Like consistently doing these things.
Okay.
I don't know about that term. I would definitely have to look that one up just to find out more about it.
Somebody look it up. If you're in front of a computer, look it up.
Okay. Yeah, I heard of the term, but I don't really, I haven't seen too many of those. I haven't seen too many people criticize a male because of his health, unless he goes overboard, like metrosexual, like you said. You can see the little feminine parts. Yeah, I think I did see something like that, but not too much. It's not popular. Okay.
The term metrosexual.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, somebody looking it up or something?
Yes.
I just look at it this way. Even if the guy do want to take care of himself that way, that's really on him. He can still have a masculine look if he wanted. Your look all depends on what you decided.
Yeah,
bottom line, it's about what you decide to look like.
Well,
if I see a guy who has long eyelashes and big earrings, I know automatically something's wrong. Okay.
Well, we're not talking about all that. We were just talking about taking care of himself as much as a woman take care of herself. We ain't saying nothing about putting makeup on and eyeliner.
There are some men out there who I saw with long eyelashes and some earrings, and I'm like, he's a cross dresser. He's a cross dresser.
The definition says.
I just sent something in the chat. Read it.
Now somebody said something in the chat. Okay, hold on.
I read it.
Okay. Okay. Here, description: metrosexual is a portmanteau of metropolitan and heterosexual, coined in the 1994, describing a man, especially one living in an urban area, post-industrial capitalist culture, who is especially meticulous about his grooming and appearance, which is okay. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Right, but he spent a lot of time, like I said, like a woman. He spent a lot of time like a woman to take care of.
If he's in the mirror, then he's a narcissist. Okay, that's a good word. A narcissist. Okay, I've encountered some guys. I'm like, you ain't all that cute. You better get out of that damn mirror. Because I was in jail and I see guys looking in the mirror. I said, you ain't all that cute. Get out of there.
They gonna get you in your room that night, didn't you?
Hey, I don't get raped. Okay. I see
All right,
people
all
looking in
right,
the
all
mirror.
right.
Like, what are you doing? Okay. So next question. You ready?
Marie?
Yep. So next question is, how do music influence you?
Okay.
Anybody can go. That's just his question.
Thomas, since Thomas came in here, let him go first.
What? How does music influence me? I think music got a big
Can you hear us,
influence
Thomas?
on people. Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
we can hear you clearly.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I think music have a
Yes.
big influence on people. Just from, if you just even want to take it from either way, from hip hop to religion, people don't get moved in churches until they hear music. So music plays, it has a big impact on people. Emotionally, the way they think, the way they even decide some of their life choices. I don't think they heard me. Hello?
We heard you.
I heard you.
We,
I heard
we
you.
heard you.
So what do you think, Frankie? What's up?
I'm a big music person, and I think music is very powerful. How it influenced me? I'm a Christian, and I listen to a lot of Christian music, and it definitely keeps my mind. I listen to music a lot, so it keeps my mind tuned in to my faith. Like even subconsciously, when I'm not focused on the scripture, when I'm not in prayer, when I'm not like focused on the Word of God, I know I got music playing in the background because I believe it's also subconsciously it plants seeds. Now in a religion I believe in, they said faith come by hearing, but the next verse is by hearing the word of God. So I believe that in two ways. If faith come by hearing, it doesn't say it only comes by listening to something good. It also comes when you listen to something that's wrong or something that's against well, I'm gonna say against the spirit for me, right? So if I'm listening to hip hop or something negative, now I'm a full grown adult, right? I got my way of thinking. I can cancel out the thoughts that I believe are not right. But I always look at music in the sense of, especially when it comes to children, like when it comes to the black community, when it comes to hip hop, I think that it's something that's been stolen to manipulate the community in a sense because they know the power of it also. So when it comes to music, I think it has a heavy impact on everyone in a sense. So if you look at the black community and what they are promoting, the negativity that's promoting, it has a lot to do of the condition the black community is in, because these are messages being sent subconsciously. I guarantee you probably go to the prison and see people who shot someone. They probably say, I don't know what happened. But the fact that they're listening to some type of music that's promoting that act, right, is just a reaction. It's subconsciously they just react because of what they've been listening to. It's more to it than that. But I think that's one of the seeds that's been planted in their mind to create this chaotic atmosphere.
Go ahead, Maurice. You next.
I had the question. You're next.
Okay. Well, what I feel about is that it's really with the self, because a lot of parents don't raise their children right in the first place. Starts from the core. It starts from the self. So basically, when people don't know thyself and you have parents who don't also know themselves, you're influenced by all outside forces,
Right.
no matter what. So when you play, that's like they always try to blame video games. Like, yo, how dare they do that? When you have a label, even on the music, it has a label. But now these days, people can burn music from off the internet, and you can get influenced just by burning music illegally and stuff and put it on your phone. I tell my daughter all the time, I say, when you listen to certain music, it can cause you to do things. Okay, it don't influence me at all, but it does move my emotions. But when I'm playing games or video games, when I listen to the music, I'm like, yo, who created this music? Like in Doom Eternal. It gets you going. It gets you going to kill as many demons as possible, even though that game is extremely hard. But you keep playing it. There's something with the music, and I say, yo, I can't keep listening to this music. It makes me want to go out and just, feel that way. But if you can't control yourself, that's in a whole new ball game in itself, because I know myself very well not to be controlled by music. And if you can be controlled by music, it's just how you were raised, and it's part of your genetics too. Because some people, they hear the wrong music, boom, something comes into them, everybody's done. Because me, some of this music is very demonic. Some of this music, rap music, is nothing to me, okay, compared to heavy metal and rock. Okay. And so I'm like, I listen to this and I'm like, yo, some people can be influenced. And like you said before, Frankie, high level influence if you haven't been trained. So you can resist. Okay. Go ahead.
But I totally agree with you in the sense of, like, if you don't have that foundational grounding, right? I understand what you're saying. That foundational grounding is everything could influence you. Everything could influence you, and it's more likely that you've been influenced by these things if you don't have no substancy or foundation to combat those negative seeds that's trying to be implanted when it comes to music or movies or anything else outside of you, basically.
Maurice?
Well, definitely, I agree with all of your statements. I think what I think we should try to do is, if we know all the negative that music can do, we should try to use it for the positive. Like Frankie was saying, when it comes to his religion, try to use it for positive influence. So we know if that it can affect neighborhoods by causing violence, why don't we start trying to spin it to something more positive? Even though we don't control the media, but it does start in the household by using positive music to have the positive outcome that we're looking for.
Right, but it's pretty tough, because I believe in the black community in general, the culture has been jacked. The culture's been jacked. Like, we don't control our images on TV. We don't control the radio stations. Like, I always take in account. Like, we remember in the 90s and in the late 80s, right? There was a strong black image, or black proud image in the community, right? You had people like Public Enemy, right? You had Queen Latifah. You had these people that was you had KRS-One, that was strengthening the culture, basically. But then you had flip the coin in the 90s. Then you had all the gangster rap that filled the airwaves, right? And I guarantee you, if we look at the statistics about how crime changed, how murder and the gun rate went up, and look at all right, we take another instance. Look at the video games that came on the scene in the 2000s, like army games, these shooting games, right? Real life shooting games. And look at us 10 years later. Now we feel the impact of that.
You understand? I don't really believe it's the music, though. I think it's the parenting.
No, parents. I think the music plays an influence.
I don't think it's just the parenting, because the parents can be as positive as they want. Once your kids go outside, it's dead.
Right.
Now it's still up to them to make that choice.
The choice, yes.
But that's why I recommend everybody to homeschool. I do not recommend your children to go out alone anyway, because I'm paranoid as hell. And when my daughter listens to certain music, I say it's entertainment purposes. Don't get influenced. I tell her, go ahead outside. You can try to dance it if you want, but don't fit in. You don't fit in. You're different. You're unique. Okay, do not fit in with that, because if you fit in with it, it comes along with its own set of problems. Okay.
Well, I think it starts with the parenting. Like I said, I'm not saying that they don't get influenced outside, but as inside we're in a house, especially growing children, and we know this information, just utilize it for the good to combat what's outside. You understand what I'm saying? We know what they're gonna listen to when they get outside. They're gonna listen to whatever's popular, whatever's hitting, right?
Yep.
But in the house, in the car rides in there, we can play whatever music that we feel that can influence them to be stronger, because eventually it's going to come to their choice at the end of the road, and hopefully what you taught them they'll make the right decision.
I listen to everything with my daughters. If my daughter want to listen to it, I listen to it. I'm real versatile when it comes to music. I like all forms of music. I don't care what it is. Okay, it's just I don't care how violent it is, but there's a mental note there. It's entertainment.
I think all parents should listen to it. The reason why I think all parents should listen to it, because you at least want to know what is being put into your child's brain. You want to know what kind of thoughts are like, all right, why did you just do that? Did you just try to repeat something that you just listened to over some kind of rap? And I think that's why I think it's good to actually be involved and actually listen to it, because at least you know where it's coming from, and now you know how to fight against it.
I agree with that, but I also think you should be a deterrent also. Like, I remember a guy. This is like totally off subject. I remember a guy. He was telling about his son. His son was walking the street with his hat backwards. Right? He came in the gate. He came in the house. His father looked at him and said, "Go inside the gate and go turn your hat around." Now he was making a point. He was saying, "Yeah, you're gonna walk the street like that out there with your hat backwards, but when you come in here, you're gonna know to turn your hat around, knowing this is who you are. You understand? This is who you are. Like, I'm not gonna play gangster rap music in my house, and if you're gonna listen to gangster rap music outside my house or in your headphones is one thing, right? Because that's what's popular and that's what your peers are listening to. But I'm gonna make a statement saying, you know what? Even though you're listening to it, I don't agree with it. You understand? Because we're at a time right now where it's a thin line. Like, it's a line where this is the first time where we see generations where the music hasn't changed. 20 years. If you look at the generation of music, it went from like gospel to like the blues. Every generation has changed. So it's separated the generations. But now we're at a point where the generations are not separate, because it's still hip hop. For the last 30 years, it's been hip hop. You understand what I'm saying? So there's no gap. There's no gap.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think we're done with the subject.
Okay. Let's go with the next subject. Okay. Frankie, you're next. Okay. What is your opinion on being the optimum mate to your partner or spouse?
That's a question to you guys.
Okay. You want to answer it, Thomas?
Repeat the question.
Okay, let me rephrase this if I can. Okay, what is your opinion on being the best mate to your partner or your spouse?
Let them be themselves. Bottom line.
I agree with that. Let them be themselves, and to me, I'll add on and let them suffer their own consequences if they cross the line with you. Okay, but I let everybody be themselves. You can be yourself, but don't tread on me. Okay, you heard that before. Go ahead, Frankie. What are you gonna say? Go ahead. Oh, Maurice, your turn.
How can I say? I agree with let them be in themselves, but I think as partners, you should have a similar goal. Not mean that you're going at it the same way, because obviously that's basically let her be herself. But at the end of the road, you should have the same goal. You can't have one person say, "Okay, I want to be financially free," or "I want a house or this type of car," if your other mate is not by their side, going in that same direction. Or better yet, I want children. I really don't want children, but you're married. It doesn't make sense. You know,
that's a better
let the person be themselves.
That one better.
You're being yourself, but you got to have the same direction, because if you don't have the same direction, I feel that the other person will pull that person back. That person will pull that person back, not on purpose, but in a way that he'll be distracted from trying to get his goal to make a better life, which most likely is for both of them.
Anything else, Thomas?
My theory again is, like I said, letting them be themselves. It fixes all problems, because no matter which direction the other person want to go to, if you're willing to let them be free and go do their own, it opens up the door for them to go. You want to go chase a car? Go get a car. Be my guest. Go chase the car. You want to chase financial freedom? Be my guest. Go chase financial freedom. I'm here. When I say let them be themselves, when I use the words let them be themselves, you got to also understand is actually willing to have the mindset of saying, it's almost like saying, I'm letting you go, but I'm still here.
Well, I think as a partner, I think, because like I said, it's two. Well, I look at it as two separate things. As a partner, that person got to have the mind, not say the mindset, but the direction you want to go in also, because they can see what you're trying to do, what you're trying to establish. Not saying they have to put the work in, but they got to be there and say, I'm having a bad day. No, I'm there for you. You can do it. You can push that person forward. You can accomplish this. I seen what you are capable of doing. So you got the same mindset, and they're pushing you, so you're not pulling each other back down. Because if someone your partners say, okay, I want to be financial free, but every time you try to build financial freedom, they're spending your savings or they're spending your money, and they're not supporting your dream by, hey, I want to be financial free, but I need you to work. Maybe this year I need you to work. Hey, maybe I need you to get a little side hustle on the side so our family can have better, so we can have better in the future. You know what I'm saying? Yes, let them be themselves, but they have to get that same direct, that same direction where you're going.
They got to be in the same direction.
Yeah, where you're going. Because if you can't see where I'm going, how can you support me? If you can't see,
because two hearts divided can't be one.
There you go. So you can't be divided. Go ahead, do your thing, and let me do my thing. But we got to be there to support each other at the end of the day because we have the same goals in mind.
So, Mikey, what do you guys say about this?
Nothing. That's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah. Usually, I try to put everything in front, so it usually goes towards I'm the boss. Okay, if I'm the boss, I always give 3 options to escape. Okay.
Wait. You got a lot of suffering going over there.
I know.
You got a thing saying it's going my way. Don't cross this line.
I'm gonna tell you something about my wife.
I know, right? I didn't want to say it.
I'm gonna say something here. My wife was perfect in Ethiopia, but some people are manipulative. Okay, some people like to hold their secrets until it's too late. I told her before we got into the airport, I said, I control all things. If you want to change your mind, okay, we can talk about some things, but if you cross the line, that could be your ass. Okay, I'm not responsible. Okay,
what was it? The warrant? Was the warrant in the jail?
Yeah, it's a warrant. That's what I do. Everybody, I said, you cross the line. If you try to cheat, you could die. Okay, but other than that, you got to have a goal, right? You got to be a goal. Right?
Oh my goodness!
That's just how I look. I said, hey, okay, Nayab, he just came in here and said, hey, Nayab A1 said, hello, yo, what's going on? How you been? I'm just talking to my brothers. These are my brothers. He's from Australia. Okay, he's from Australia, and of course, he says hello. Okay, I've been talking to him for quite some time, and yes, let's see. Okay, what else is there? Are we going to the next subject?
Yeah, for Frankie.
Okay, so you know what your next you know what your next topic is, Frankie?
Nothing to you. What was it?
What is the best thing that you have witnessed about the female parenting? Okay, parenting.
Parenting.
Well, what you're saying is that have you seen women with exceptional parenting skills?
No, I didn't say exceptional. I said
okay.
What have you witnessed about female parenting that's good?
That's good.
Okay.
That you can.
Right.
What have you witnessed?
Not everybody at one time.
He always talking trash. I'm pretty sure you next to your wife. You better be careful.
I ain't said that wrong yet.
Yeah.
Why do you think I answered so quickly?
It says, "What is the best?"
I didn't say what negative thing. I said what positive thing. So you should be.
So, what is the best thing that you have witnessed about the female parenting? That's your question.
Yes.
Patience.
Ooh.
Patience. Beautiful.
So you must have some bad kids doing some crazy stuff, huh?
Everyone's kid's not perfect, sir.
my kids is what you say about your kids. They're
No,
outstanding.
my kids
They
are afraid
different.
of me. Now I don't know what when you said that, the way you said it was like patience. It's like one of your kids is out of sync or going to do some crazy stuff they ain't supposed to be doing. That's what it sounds like.
No, kids are being kids. It takes a lot of patience to deal with kids.
Period. Yeah.
Don't forget they finding. You got to realize kids are at a rough age now. First of all, they got to deal with the coronavirus, and they still got to try to find their own true self.
Yep.
What do you mean by patience? My question is, what do you mean by patience? Like you're sitting there letting them experience life hardships.
You're letting them go through their own life experience, but you also willing to let them learn from their experience instead of you just jumping down them saying, "Hey, no, this is wrong. Oh no, I'm beating you because you did this." Okay. I always took from my father. My father always told me experience. You could be the meanest parent or the best parent in the world. Experience is the best teacher, hands down.
So patience, long suffering. Go ahead, Maurice.
Okay. Oh, I like patience, love, and understanding.
I said what you have witnessed, not what you think.
Oh, what I witnessed? Love, understanding. No, I witnessed that.
All right.
You laughing, but I witnessed that. I witnessed love and understanding.
All right, how?
So I witnessed. Well, I don't tell my personal life, so but
detail you can
wait. Hold on.
You gotta be your wife. You can be somebody else.
Can I finish talking? You gonna let me finish speaking, or you gonna just cut me off? I think a parent show love because of the things they have to do to make sure that children try to go in the right direction. Meaning that I think, especially a woman, she shows that love internally that everything's going to be okay. She shows that love that I'll always be there for you, And I think children needs that because when they feel I think no one's there for them, that's when they go out of the realms or to the wrong direction because it feels like no one's there for them, no one cares for them. Understanding the same thing, the same concept. We might not agree with all the things that our children does, so sometimes we gotta be understanding of the decisions that they make. It might not be our direction that we want to go in, but a mother, I think, is understanding that, hey, I want to make this decision. I want to go to this college because of this reason. That's just a broad statement. I want to go to college for this reason. I want to go to college away from my house because of this reason. And I think a mother's parenting is she's very understanding of that. And that's a very broad statement. I can use other methods to make to get the understanding part put in place. But I think those are the two that I witnessed: is love and understanding.
You know what I fucking witnessed? I witnessed a motherfucking superficial love. So there's two different. My wife is superficial, and also all of the women I've talked to in the past have a form of superficial love.
I'm not talking about. Hold on, I'm not talking about.
I'm telling you what I witnessed. I'm telling you about what I witnessed.
With children. With children. They're children.
With children. Listen, okay? Of all of the hundreds of women I've talked to, look into my eyes, okay? When I speak to them, I give them some advice. I say, hey, you should not do this for your daughter because yada, yada, yada. In the subconscious mind, I can read their mind. It's all about the money and dollar bills, baby. Because when it comes down to it, they don't give a crap about the educational system, about how their children are supposed to be raised or not. My wife is like this, okay? And also the women I've talked to, I tell hundreds of females, I say, hey, you're doing it all wrong. And it's not their fault either. I do not blame the mothers. I call it superficial love. 90%. Maybe one time I saw a female who genuinely showed affection to their sons and daughters. Maybe one time I saw the mother pick up her son and rocked him back and forth. That is the only time, rocking them back and forth. But when a female kisses or touches and fondles, that's a form of pedophilia I don't want to talk about. There is a certain sexual edge there, okay? It's like when I have a child, this is what came from my womb. So now it's money to me. There's a selfish narcissism there. I learned this over the years. And I'm going to say to you, I have not seen too many mothers who genuinely care for their children just by asking them a few questions. If I ask your wives different questions, I can easily tell if it's superficial or not, just by asking the questions. Certain questions can lead to a lot of other things. And the pathology is not hard. The pathology, the psychology is not hard to figure out. Okay?
Oh, I don't really agree with your statements, and I don't know what kind of woman you hang around. But, you said 90%, and I can tell. I know 9 women. I know 9 women that really love their children, and I'm
think they love their children.
No, you can see it in the eyes. But let me not get off subject. But what I witness is the nurturing ability, the fact that on the male side, that if we sit back and watch a woman and how she willing to sacrifice mentally, she's always thinking about her children in every aspect to uplift them or strengthen them in every aspect and every chance they get. Sometimes we probably don't understand it, and sometimes it seems like they go too far, but to them it's really not too far, because whatever it takes to build that child and to nurture that child to the best to their ability, right? They're willing to go. They're willing to go at this, especially young children, So the nurturing.
Let me say one thing: is if they care so much, there's a lot of women who are single mothers. Statistically, if you go to the single mothers and ask them, like I said before, it's not their fault. When you see a nurturing female of a single mother, okay, from my experiences, it's more like a money grab. It's more of a narcissist. They don't know how to treat the man that they're with. So if they don't know how to treat a man the correct way, how do you think they're going to treat their children? They may seem like they're being nurturing because of what other mothers are doing, okay? But it's not the correct way to do certain things. I'm just saying it from my experiences. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but when we're talking about a single mother raising her child, one we don't understand that condition, and we don't understand what she's going through, and also things are off balance. There. Usually, I believe the man is supposed to be there to grant some type of security, so she had the ability to be a woman and to be that nurturer. Usually, when a woman is by herself, she has to be the provider, and also she got to be the nurturer, which those are off balance in a sense. Now, she can't be that full nurturer because she got to go out to the world and face the world. She got to go out and face the world. So now it may seem as if she can't be that. She can't be that full nurturer. She can't be that full nurturer because now she's doing 2 jobs at the same time. She's trying to do 2 jobs at the same time, and it's pretty difficult. Now, I'm not talking about a woman who works and she has a mate at home. That's a different story. I'm talking about a person who has nobody. I'm not saying that work throws her off. I'm saying the fact that she has nobody there to counter and to help her balance these things out. That's what I'm speaking of.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Thomas, before we end, I want you to answer these 2 and what your opinion is so we can end the video, okay? So you only missed I think he only missed two questions, okay? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me see. Thomas, have you heard of the he came in on the last 4 questions, right? 4 topics, right? Okay, mine was okay. What do you think of the order? What is the order of importance? White lives matter, Black lives matter. Just give us your opinion. White lives matter, Black lives matter, blue lives matter. What is your opinion of it?
Or all lives matter.
Or all lives. Okay, Thomas.
I'm not sure of the question.
What order?
Are you asking me what order is important?
Important.
Okay, so each and every individual they all gonna have their own choice of which one is important, because everybody's always gonna choose what they believe is what their concept is.
Mm-hmm.
Because you better believe that somebody that's a cop gonna say blue lives matter because he's out there in the street every day. And somebody that's black gonna say black lives matter because he out in the street every day and he's black. And a white person gonna say all lives matter because they really can't say white lives matter.
So what about a person who says blue lives matter more than everybody else's? What about that?
That's just their concept.
I'm not a cop.
That's just what but that's still your concept. That's the way that the way that you visualize in the world is what you're gonna put first.
Okay, so what is your importance? Okay, what is your order of importance?
There is no order of importance to me.
Okay, so you just like Maurice. Maurice said the same thing, right? Didn't you say that? You say it's everybody. Yeah.
Anyone, yeah, because like I said, Thomas wasn't here for the statement. Like I said, if a cop had a son or daughter, and their son and daughter life was in trouble, and even though he's feel Blue Lives Matter, he's going to risk his life to save his son or daughter.
Which is true.
Yeah. So it's all lives matter. So it's just what initiative are you pushing? That's what the rest of
it's all about your concept.
Okay, my concept is if there's a U.S. soldier, and I'm just an ordinary citizen, a U.S. soldier and a cop is more skilled than me to protect more lives. They sacrifice themselves to protect, and so my job is not to sacrifice to protect. If, of course, morals is coming into play, I would sacrifice myself for the sake of the cop to live. Because my value is not, the cop may try to save my life, okay, but I do not look at it that way. That cop has already made a vow to protect lives, so his life is a bit more important than mine. Okay? That's how I look at it. If I see the military, if you say your life is equal to a military man, if you say your life is equal to a military man, I think you may have some nuts loose in your head, okay? So because you don't understand the concept of what a military man does, what a policeman does. They're willing to sacrifice themselves. Okay, I'm not talking about parents. I'm not talking about parents.
I'm not going to get too deep into that, but okay. I do understand your concept of it. But I really don't want to touch on that subject.
Okay,
I'm gonna leave that subject alone.
Okay,
just because I truly think kind of different from that.
Okay, so then the last question is before we end this video. Okay, what is your definition of love? Okay, Frank Thomas.
What is my definition of love?
Yes.
We just talking about in general.
Yeah, what's your definition? Simply.
As simply put, it's the same thing I said before. Letting one be themselves and still be around to help support them.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, I guess we talked about that earlier. So if you want to watch the video again, it's in. Oh yeah, these videos have like subtitles now. So if you rewatch it somewhere, you'll see the subtitles on Facebook, especially, and that's good. What Facebook is doing, they just added some new feature on the phones now. It's everywhere. Closed caption. Because I teach Bangladesh overseas. And I said, if you're the more proper English you are speaking, you will notice how you are speaking by the subtitles. And by looking at what you're speaking and saying, okay, and how slowly and how your punctuations is, you will understand if the computer is picking up. You know, mine is 80%. Okay. But of course, other than that, let me see. Okay, so Juan came in here and said blood. I don't. Okay, blood or love. Okay, I don't know the concept of what you're speaking of, but he just mentioned. Okay, can I be a turtle too? Okay, yeah, sure, you can be a turtle. You can be a turtle. You know, there's a fifth turtle, you guys. Do the research now. Her name is Jenny. Jenny is her name, and Jenny is a short name. She carries the sai and the bow and arrow, and also a short Kadachi blade. Okay. She was actually a mutated from Leonardo's blood transfusion. She was once a foot soldier, a highly skilled foot soldier. Let me see, okay, and that's all. Let me see who else. Okay, I didn't hear you well. Okay, you can rewatch the video if you didn't hear. Okay, SD. What is XD? I don't even know what that means. What does that mean, XD? Does anybody know what that means? Huh?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay, but anyway, we're going to end this video. Okay, let me see here. And thank you very much, brothers, for showing up. And same bat time, same bat channel on Sundays at 9 p.m. We will try to do this as long as one of my brothers are. It's not to get distracted by their wives, okay, or something that happens, okay. And I will talk to you later. And thank you for joining, brothers. Okay. I'll see you later. Okay. I'm going to end the video right now. Bye bye to everyone who's watching too.
Have a good night.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night.